the videos will be uploaded. Hey, my day is okay. Thank you. How is your day?
How is your day, mate? I love you.
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Oh, Eric, people are saying, have you updated the app? That might be why.
What update on the app?
What update on the app? Maybe, is that why?
Maybe. Let's try it after this.
You're amazing too. We're all amazing. Not just one of us. Everybody here is amazing in this community. Yeah, tell yourself that every day. You're amazing because you are, and believe it because it's true.
There you are. What's up, people? And what's up? Only 3 likes, really? You got Charles here. If you guys have any questions, what's up?
It was a random update. It was a random update. Have you got the updates on your phone?
It should update automatically, but I'll go to Apple Store. What's up, Sarah? I know I love Charles's accent. Charles lived with me for like 2 months, and I adore his accent.
I think it's everybody on TikTok, like they're getting 0 views. Nobody can upload a video. And everybody's worried that it's because TikTok might be getting banned in the United States.
I'm good. How are you? What's up, Quesadilla?
Seb, yes.
Hi, Ninjago.
Yeah, I'm in Wonderland.
I have the latest update.
Sweetie. Yeah, it's still doing that for us. Like, we can't upload a single video, and I know it's quite a few people. Hey, Jade, how you doing?
Hello. Yep, Enchiladas here.
I hope you're okay today, Jade.
We'll see if we can get Charles to eat some bugs.
Yeah, it's a massive glitch. I'm not eating no bugs.
No. I'm good, Alina. How are you? Hi, Kobe.
Glow Casey.
Hope that you guys are all having a good day today.
Nobody's alone at Authentic Mental Health Hub. We all
feel
the same.
If you didn't recognize this dude, this is Charles from Authentic Mental Health. Check out his YouTube channel. He's a large YouTuber, unlike me. He is part. Hey, Brady. He is actually one of them that's going to be in the grief, loss, and trauma workshop with us. What's up, Lisa? So I just dropped the link to the grief, trauma, and loss workshop. I'll pay Charles 50 pounds to eat bugs. They'll pay you 50 pounds to eat bugs.
No.
He's worse than I am to eat bugs.
Okay, maybe.
Maybe.
You'll pay me 50 pounds to eat bugs. So let me show on TikTok, please.
Oh yeah. You did awesome, Jane.
1 second.
There you go.
Okay, put that down. Let me show the bag, please.
But grab the bug.
No, I'm not grabbing the bug. So basically,
do you make no? I make 0 off of TikTok.
We're live on
TikTok
Authentic Mental Health here on TikTok.
He's live on his TikTok.
Live on Driven Industries, Eric's YouTube channel. So if you don't know, go check Eric out. He runs something called Driven Industries.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Sky.
They're trying to get me to eat these bugs.
I've had a good day. Awesome. I'm glad that you've had a good day. Or are you stressed? Eat a bug. Dude, the bugs are gross.
What bugs are they? What exactly? Can you see them?
They're crickets, and they're I forgot what the other one is. It's crickets and something else.
They're trying to get me to eat crickets.
I'm good, Val. How are you?
You know what's weird? I forgot I can see myself on this screen and people can see me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Freddie. How's
put
work?
The muffins in the freezer? Huh? What muffins? Sorry.
So we wanted to, I know the accent's awesome. Hey, Sophie. Where in England are you from?
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
No, it's not Birmingham.
Birmingham.
It's Birmingham.
Birmingham.
That's where I'm from. Birmingham.
You're doing good. Sorry to bring down your mood, but I should. But should
I'm good,
you feel ashamed about yourself?
You?
No, don't feel ashamed by your self-harm scars at all. What's up, Chris? How are you?
Olivia.
It's the simple things in life, Charles.
What have you dealt with and dealing with? So I have been diagnosed with depression.
I know Caterpillar with your name on it. That's rad.
And social anxiety.
Your dad's from England. Awesome.
Deal with to this day. I got originally diagnosed with those.
I love your heart.
When I was around 14 years old. I'm now 26, so it's been 12 years.
And again, I appreciate all the thank you, Quesadilla, for dropping that. There's the Discords if you guys aren't in the Discords. Right there's a Patreon if you guys.
They are.
I'll be getting to all the
crickets,
messages
Charlie.
and text
they
to
are
you
not
guys here
just
shortly.
only crickets. Would you eat these honestly? Come on.
We also
come on. Would you honestly?
We went live
these?
to hey Paula. We went live to promote this.
Oh. Also,
mental health off camera. There you are.
We're
trauma,
holding
loss, and grief workshop.
A workshop on the 18th, and it's for trauma, grief, and loss. If you click the link in our bio, you'll be able to go to the workshop. If you are struggling with that and you want help from me, Maddie, and Eric, it's all being held over Zoom. If you're interested,
that's anxiety.
The link is in our bio.
Controller,
so
that
all three of us will be involved, so you'll get all three of our inputs.
That's what anxiety is.
What we did.
Chris, you're awesome.
It, so it's up to you if you.
Not for COVID.
It's not compulsory.
What test is that, Poppy?
The link is in our bio.
Eat a bug. I cannot eat a bug. The bugs are brutal. I'm good. What do you do about depression?
How do you get rid of nausea from anxiety? Now, this is something that's
cut them out of your life.
Affects me a lot.
Hey, Steph, I'm good. How are you, sweetie?
So I'm not sure if I've ever spoke about it in detail, and Eric knows better than anybody how I get with my anxiety.
With his anxiety is like I have general anxiety disorder. Like I get bad. Him. He is like 10 times. Like he is the ultimate, and I can relate to him. His anxiety is unreal. Like I feel for this guy more than anybody that I've ever really ran into with anxiety, just because of how I know him, and he's a good friend of mine firsthand. His anxiety is brutal. I mean, he's the throwing up anxiety, the shaking, the trembling, the can't do this anxiety, very, very strong. Yeah, we're talking over each other a little bit.
Yeah, sorry if we're talking over each other.
No, someone's like, it's annoying you're talking over each other.
So, yeah, my anxiety actually makes me throw up. I've made a couple of videos about this, but I haven't gone into like too much detail about it. So, when I had a day job, every morning driving there, it was like a 45-minute drive. I would be physically heaving whilst driving on the motorway, freeway, depending where you live, whatever you call it, but I call it a motorway. Heaving whilst trying to concentrate and drive. So I'm like this, like just because my anxiety is so high. And when I would actually get to the car park, I would ring Eric because he knows, like,
he knew I was up too at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, it was like because I work the night shift. I would physically have a bag in my car just for me to throw up in before I even got out the car and went to work. That's how bad my anxiety was, and still is. Like it's not just work. It's like if I had to meet, let's say, any of you in person, I would do exactly the same thing. Like even seeing Eric, like I've seen Eric like, I don't know, like 1,000 times. I still heave on the way over to Eric's. Like that's just I don't know, like when my anxiety is high, I don't know why, it's just really bad. But going back to you say, do I have any tips for that? Something that really actually helps me, it's very, very simple to stop the heaving. Sometimes it works for me. Most of the time it does. Is chewing on like sweets or chewing gum. Now I know you like sour patches. That really helps you with your anxiety and panic attacks, doesn't it? You can try like Sour Patch Kids. Is that what it's called?
Yep. I use Sour Patch Kids or I use Warheads.
Or Warheads. I've never tried them.
Have you tried one of this?
No, what is it?
Dude, put this on your finger. It's a sensory ring.
Oh, okay.
Trust me. You've never tried this. This is the shit. Do you know what it's designed for, right? Notice how it feels weird? Yeah. It's literally designed for anxiety.
It kind of feels nice.
Yeah, dude, you notice how all of a sudden you're like, hey, wait a minute, and you just start messing with it?
Yeah.
That is an amazing fucking tool, dude. One of the most amazing tools that people didn't even know that existed.
Where did you get this from?
Amazon. I have a bunch of them. I'll give you a couple, dude. Isn't it badass?
Honestly, you have to try this.
Isn't it? Just a minute ago, dude, you didn't want to put it on your finger. And now you're like, dude, you notice how the feeling is so unique?
weird. It's making me feel calm. Like I'm not like sensory ring. I'm not sure if you can see it. It feels really nice.
Yeah. What's up, nurse?
Hey, everybody who's new here. If you're new and you've just joined,
most are on.
Me, Eric, and Maddie, we're 3 mental health creators. We talk about our experiences and try and end the stigma attached to mental health disorders. We're hosting a workshop on grief, trauma, and loss. So if you click the link in our bio, you'll be able to go to the website and get tickets to that workshop. There's a live Q&A at the end of that workshop where you'll be able to ask us any questions you want to, and we'll be responding to those questions. There's limited tickets left. There's only a few left. We've almost sold out already, haven't we, Eric?
Yeah,
we've almost sold out already. So please, if you want to get those remaining spaces, please click the link in the bio. Aren't you also doing journaling? Yeah, we're doing there's a journaling workshop every single month. There's also a depression workshop for next month. And this month on the 18th is the grief, loss, and trauma workshop. So click the link in the bio if you
Birmingham
want to get tickets for that. Like I said, there's very few remaining. So I'm going to let Eric talk for just a couple
No,
of seconds.
keep talking. I'm actually impressed. No, dude, because you normally don't talk very much. I'm actually enjoying. You don't get how bad his anxiety is. He normally doesn't. He normally doesn't talk this much.
So let me just explain something to you all. There's a reason why I don't think I've ever been live on YouTube. The only time I've ever been live on YouTube or TikTok is when I've been with you. I because my anxiety is that bad. I don't like. Someone say Nottingham. Eric, say Nottingham.
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 Nottingham. Genuine question. Grief brief. Are you and Maddie and Charles sharing stories? Yes, we are. We're going to share our different stories and the way of grief, trauma, and how we've coped through it, because we've all had trauma, grief, and loss in our lives. And it's one of those that the more that we share our stories, because it's all different, the better that it is.
Yeah, you can get diagnosed. Love you too, Jay. Asked to a possible. Yes, Ali Smith. I'm from Birmingham. I moved to America 2 years ago.
Birmingham.
Are you from Birmingham? Let me just answer this question real quickly. So somebody asks, can you be diagnosed over the internet with either depression or anxiety? Yes, you can, but it has to be by a therapist or counselor online. So we are both supported and sponsored by BetterHelp. So if you want to speak to a mental health professional or therapist to be diagnosed and get help for your mental health, click the link in the description on our page and go to mental health help or support, I think it is, where you'll be able to be diagnosed. So you can't be diagnosed just by simply Googling, let's say, symptoms of depression, and then you can relate to 6 of them, and then you can be like, oh, I've got depression. That's self-diagnosing, so please don't do that. You can only be diagnosed by, a mental health professional. And if you speak to a mental health professional online, then yes, you
mental health professionals is definitely the way to go.
Be diagnosed, yeah. Dudley! Oh, Dudley, mate. Wait, I'm not even sure where I should... Dudley, the Black Country, yeah? That's what they call it, the Black Country.
Discord fan.
I lived for a while in Stourbridge, which is next to Dudley. I think Stourbridge is in Dudley, isn't it? Love you too. Appreciate your support. Thank you. Love you.
I want to bust up.
Are we live on Instagram as well?
We're going to go live on Instagram in a minute.
We're live on everything today.
We are.
We literally live on everything, mate. What's going on?
I know. We're live on everything.
Yeah.
Because I do want to let people know. I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm not ignoring, please. I'm not. You guys got to bear with me. It is hot. It's been long. Bear with me a little.
Mm-hmm.
I love you guys.
Yeah, we apologize if we miss anybody's
I love you, Quesadilla. Mishba, I will. Are you a mod? Yeah. Oh, dude, we have the most on Instagram now. Instagram fam is rocking it with the most people on the live stream. If you guys are new, him and I, Authentic Mental Health, Maddie and myself have a we have a workshop on grief, trauma, and loss going on. Link is in the bio. Just click the link in the bio. The very first link is on that link tree, and Charles's, mine, and Maddie's is a mental health workshop. Just hit that, and you guys can jump in and. There are some limited tickets available for it. Patreon members, you guys do have set reservations for it. I'll let you keep going. I like hearing you talk, Charles. Charles doesn't ever really talk. Like he is like very mellow, but you guys don't realize like the extent of his anxiety.
Yeah. We apologize if we're missing anyone's questions when they type in the live. We're live on my TikTok, Eric's YouTube.
Aluminum.
It's aluminium.
No, it's aluminum.
No, it's not. It's aluminium.
No, it's
okay.
Aluminum.
So let's ask people: is it who says it correctly?
It's aluminum.
Well, obviously, because most people on these lives are probably from America, so they're gonna say you're right. But I mean, I guess we're both right. So
yeah,
I say
a little bit.
We say it a different way. But
Steph says, "Hey, Charles."
Hi,
Tina.
Hello, Steph. Yeah. Sorry.
Eric is right.
Okay. No, Eric is not right.
Eric is right.
Can I just reply to this?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly. Ariana Young. Enit. Who's saying Enit?
Sophie said Enit. Brent's Enit.
Enit. Well, I say Enit. So how we say Enit is ENNIT, not INIT. So it's Enit. Enit. Yeah, sorry. Let me just respond. You mentioned you want to be an actress. Hang on, where is it? Ariana Young 1. You can be whatever you want. So I just want to explain something to people. If you can picture it in here, okay, in here. So you're picturing you're going to be an actress. You can make it happen here. So everything begins in the mind. So if you want to be an actress, then you be an actress and you can do it, okay? You got to believe in yourself and ignore what anybody says to you. If you say to them, hey, my dream is to be an actress, and people say to you, you want to be an actress, mate? You're not going to be an actress. Just ignore that, because people are going to hate and put negative opinions into your mind. You do what you want to do. And you can do whatever you want to do. There is no limits. As long as you can picture and believe it in here, you can make it a reality. And one day, I'm going to look you up and you're going to be an actress in all the top films. Okay, so I'm going to remember your name. I'm not putting pressure on you. I feel like I'm putting a bit of pressure on now, actually. I feel a bit bad. But the point is, if you can picture it here, you can make it happen and you can make it a reality. So, sorry, I was talking a bit.
Oh no, you're fine, dude.
I was going a bit.
How do you grieve relationship loss?
Well, I know what you've said before, and it's got you. I shouldn't laugh really, but I know what you've said before, haven't you? And it got you in a bit of
trouble.
Not trouble, but people
didn't think it was funny like I did. But I always backed it up. I mean, you got to grieve it like you do anything of loss. It's a grief process.
Well, for me, before, so as you probably don't know, we're both married men. Mm-hmm. But when I was younger, I was with somebody for 8-9 years, for quite a long time, and it was really difficult on me when that person broke up with me. So what happened was this girl, my girlfriend, went to university, and I think
you're going down a path. I'm waiting to see where this goes.
Well, she was the reason why she broke up with me is because she obviously met another guy at university, and was like,
he's better.
Well, she was like cheating on me, so she broke up with me, and obviously I really loved this person a lot. It was my first girlfriend, my first everything, my first kiss, blah blah blah, and it really hit me really hard. I remember the first 2 weeks, I couldn't really understand why this was happening. And I was like begging this person, and I was like, oh, I'll move to where your university is, and I'll get a job, and I'll do this, and like we can make it work. I forgive you for, you know, cheating on me, blah, 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 all this stuff. And the person didn't want it. And as much as it hurt me, what I learned was I cannot let somebody else, and this is difficult, I cannot let somebody else ruin my own self-love, my own self-happiness, and my own self-belief, if that makes sense. And I know it's difficult when you're in the moment and you've got like this pain in your heart, and like you feel like your heart is completely ripped open and you've got nothing left to live. You know what I mean? Like you're never going to meet anybody else, you know, nobody's good enough. They weren't like the other person. In the moment, it feels like it's the end of the world. It feels like the end of the world. So for me, what I did was I pictured, well, I didn't have to picture it because I was living through it. And I realized how much this person had hurt me and what they'd done to me. And I kept asking myself, is this how I want to live my life, constantly feeling like this? So what I did was every single day I wrote down how I was feeling. And next to it, what was that pain and hurt caused by, and who was it caused by? So I wrote that person's name. So I probably had a book, like, there's no books nearby, quite thick, with everything and how I was feeling. And next to pretty much 99% of what I wrote was that person's name. So subconsciously, I'd read the book over and over every day and be like, this person caused me this pain. And eventually for me, it's the old saying, everything gets better with time. You know what I mean? And like I said, when you're in the moment, it feels like it's the end of the world.
Right.
But you've just got to know that and believe that it's not the end of the world, and you will get past this. And you'll, the other thing is, you are so much stronger than you think you are and you give yourself credit for. Now, how many people on all of these live streams, I want you to comment right now, do you feel like you can't take the pain you're feeling anymore? And I want you to comment me. So just comment me. If you can relate to what I just said, please comment me. People are waving, yes, yes. So number one, look at the people on the live stream who are saying me. You're not alone going through what you're going through. And the second thing I want to say is, you are strong enough and you can do it because you get through it every single day. Every single day, huh? Look how many people are typing me, me.
But yet in your own head, you're like, I'm the only one going through this. No one else can understand.
And the point I'm trying to make is, you feel like you can't take it anymore, but you can, because you do it every single day. And that's why the hashtag BAMF was created, and something that you say a lot, because you are. You don't realize how strong you are, but you are, because you go through it every single day. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But you think you're weak. I think I'm weak because I'm depressed. You think you're weak because you're depressed. You think you're weak because you're depressed. You think you're weak because you have bad thoughts in your head, but you're not. That makes you strong, because somebody who's not feeling that way, somebody who doesn't have a mental health disorder, their life, they go to work, they come home, they don't have to deal with this. We, people who are struggling with mental health disorders, go to work, dealing with this, eat at lunch, dealing with this, go home, dealing with this. So we are so strong on a daily basis, and we don't even realize. And I want to give every single person who said me credit and my love for being so strong and going through it every single day. And I want to let you all know that you're amazing, because we both know how you're feeling, right? And we both know what you're going through, and you are such amazing human beings for just going through it, number one, and secondly, dealing with it because you're so strong. I don't know if you want to add anything to I know I was rambling on.
No, but what you say is extremely true. I mean, you and I talk the same thing, and the best part is though is it's not permanent. It's not always like people are like, was it ever going to stop? You have moments of reprieve from it. You have moments where you know it's good or things around you are decent. And the challenge though, like with some of the depression disorders are, it may always be there. And it may always be somewhere in here. It depends on how much it's going to affect you through the day. But you know what? It's a hell of a lot easier to work through it. But if you're looking for a quick fix to it, there isn't one. That's what I think a lot of times people miss is we want a quick fix to it, you know?
Well, I'll say this. Sorry to be taking over.
Go, dude. I'm excited that you're actually talking.
So how I see the world today is everybody wants a quick scheme, and I'll do a perfect example: the get rich quick schemes, right? On YouTube, there's so many ads. Buy this book. I will teach you how to get rich in 30 days. There's no such thing as getting rich in 30 days, right? There's no get rich quick scheme, right? The scheme is that person getting rich by tricking you to buy a book or whatever, or you know what I mean, by telling you how to get rich. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, well, the same as with social media too, like how to get famous. You know? Get famous really quick, or how to grow your YouTube channel, or how to grow your TikTok. Get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in one day. You know, get 100,000 subscribers in 1 month. Here's how I did it.
Yeah, so like going back to the mental health thing, so it's very similar in the sense of a couple of reasons. What helps me with my anxiety, depression, any other mental health disorder might not work and help Eric, might not work and help you. Everybody is different in what works for them, right? So this is another thing that I also get quite upset and annoyed at, if I'm going to be honest with you. So on a couple of our videos that have got over like a couple of million views, the palm ones with the ice, they're like, this is useless, this doesn't work for me, this is blah blah blah. And I'm like, look at the comments and look how many people it is actually helping. I've never once said this formula and this alone is going to help everybody 100%. Everybody is different. And it goes back to triggers as well. What triggers me is not going to trigger you.
Well, let's use today's example. So today's example, we were talking about Xanax addiction. And he didn't want to share with me too much about Xanax addiction because he's like, I don't want to trigger you because he knows I'm a recovering addict. I'm a cocaine and alcoholic recovering addict. And he's being my friend, being like, hey, I want to talk to you about this, but I don't want to talk to you about this. And like, I had to make it real blunt to him, like, dude, this isn't a trigger to me. Like, let's talk about it. I'll share with you about it. And so you got to remember, everybody's triggers are so different. There is somebody out there though that could be triggering to.
And that's why I didn't want to talk. I don't want to talk to you about things because I don't know if it would trigger you or not. And that goes back to my point where everybody is triggered by something different. You know what I mean?
That's where you have to be communicative though, and say, hey, this bothers me or this doesn't bother me. And own our own triggers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People are asking me, hey, do you have a red ULL? What's red ULL? What's red ULL? Fetal alcohol syndrome. Yeah, I know what it is. Red Bull. No. Let's talk about Red Bull, Eric.
I always have Red Bull.
So much Red Bull, but it's sugar-free because it helps you, doesn't it? So,
yeah. And it's not the case with everybody with ADHD. It's not necessarily going to help you if you're ADHD to get caffeine. It is a very common, though, coping tool for ADHD. And I drink a couple of sugar-free Red Bulls a day. Some people, it'll spike your anxiety.
Yeah. And that goes back to what I was mentioning before. What helps Eric with his ADHD, it might not help you. You know what I mean? Everybody's different. And me and Eric and any other mental health person talking openly on the internet is not here to tell you need to do what we're telling you to do because it works for me.
Right.
We're just sharing what helps us, so it could potentially and might help others. Not saying our way is the only way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, what helps me with my anxiety is not the only way to help everybody else with anxiety. That's just my way. See, that's so. Megan, I agree with you. So I'm reading the comment here. Energy drinks make my anxiety go to the roof. That's you've never seen me drink an energy drink.
No.
Because that's the same for me. So I can relate to Megan and she can relate to me. But with you, you can't relate to that. You know what I mean?
Right, because stimulants actually bring me down.
It
calms me down. Hey, Shal. The stimulants do. And that's why we're especially with this workshop that we're doing. That's why it's so big to have the three of us actually doing the workshop. So you get three of our inputs that are going to be completely different on different aspects of what we've experienced. And that's why it's so important, and that's why I'm always very, very huge when it comes to, you know, anybody who wants to bring awareness, because what helps somebody may not help somebody else. It's all trial and error, and the more that you hear of everybody's stories and what they've used or what they've tried, it starts making a bigger difference than you know. If you guys, I'm going to shut down the Instagram live. If you guys go to my link in the bio, I do have a link to the workshop that Charles, I, and Maddie are doing. If you guys want to check that out, there are limited tickets available, so check it out.
Yeah, there's also a link in our bio to our workshops. There's limited spaces remaining, so if you want to, I'd go now, if I'm honest with you, because there's very few spaces remaining to get to our workshops. The link is in our bio. I just want to touch on this really quickly, this comment. How do you deal with this when you went to school? Any tips? So again, this is going to be different for everybody. So how I dealt with my panic attacks at school is going to be different to you. And I also made a video on this. And what I didn't realize is in some schools now, I think it's only in America, they don't allow you to go to the toilet during lessons. And I'll explain to you how I dealt with my panic attacks at school. When I was at school, obviously I'm too old now to go to school. But whenever I started to feel a panic attack coming on, if I'm in the classroom, you deserve it. I would ask the teacher to go to the toilet, and I'll explain to you why. When the teacher allowed me to go to the toilet, I would put myself into the cubicle, so the actual toilet. I'd put the seat down, I'd sit on the toilet, and I'd sit like this and just close my eyes and go. And just breathe in and out for just a couple of minutes. That's all I would do, and just try and calm myself down. Now, that's what worked for me. And I made a video about that. And what I didn't realize is you're not allowed. Some people were commenting saying you're not allowed to go leave the lesson now. You need cards or something.
Yeah, like you need hall passes, or you need a permission by the teacher. So one of the things that people don't get in the US is as a kid, if you can get diagnosed, and you literally get diagnosed by a therapist as a kid, you get your parents on board, get diagnosed. Here, I'm going to just turn this, then I'll help you guys. Well, he's up. He ran real quick. If you get diagnosed by a therapist, you actually get protected by the FMLA, I believe it is, where you actually show your teacher so they know you're not making the shit up. So you do have the school now that will work with you on if you need to get away and you need to get out because of an anxiety attack or because of a panic attack. It's something that's one of the biggest reasons people are always like, well, why do I need to get diagnosed?
Yeah.
That paper that says this is what you're diagnosed with is everything. It lets your employers know, it lets your teachers know that you didn't just go Google something and you're trying to manipulate or twist the system. It means that you actually had a professional involved, and this is what your diagnosis is, which means now they will help you and work around you differently than just going into school saying, I have anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I have anxiety. The doctor said so.
Mm-hmm.
Different story.
So another thing, I've only found out about this today.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called again?
Sensory ring.
A sensory ring. So if you're not allowed to leave,
they will work, dude.
Yeah, it's worked for me. Like when I was doing, if you're not allowed to leave the classroom, if you, for whatever reason, and you feel your anxiety levels rising and rising and rising, or you feel a panic attack starting to come on, I think I've never spoke about before. It's not that I'm embarrassed to talk about this. It's that it's really personal for me. Let me see. 1 second. I'll try and find something to show you.
All right.
1 second.
Now that's the whole purpose behind these workshops that we do.
Who are these clothes?
Those are Katie's, I think. Is where we actually share. Like, I never really ever, until this anxiety workshop, shared about the sensory ring because most people didn't know about them. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, so on all my clothes, when I buy clothes, I have to buy.
No, because I know about this.
I have to buy certain clothes. Okay.
Oh, this one I ripped off.
Yeah, so
these shirts have that.
I have to buy clothes from certain shops with labels on like this. Okay. And these labels are soft. You see, like this. I'm not sure if you can see it properly, but they're soft. They're not like the hard. On some ones, you get hard labels. Okay. This is something that, in my mind, protects and helps me and reduces my anxiety. So I play with this, and you wouldn't even know that I'm playing with it. And I'll explain to you why. I've been doing it quite a lot during this live stream. So here, I have labels. So what I do is I would be like this, and you'd think I'm in my pocket, and I'm twiddling this. Oh, sorry, people. Like this, it's going between my hands. And this helps me. It's soft. It makes me feel calm. I'm not sure if people can see.
Yeah, no, and it has to do with sensory. That's the reason the sensory rings work. It's a sensory distraction for your head.
Yeah, so whenever I feel, I do it drive. Listen, I must play with my label like 90% of the time I'm awake for my anxiety, because me personally, I'm constantly living in a state of anxiety, and that's my anxiety for me. Your anxiety may be different, and yours, blah blah blah.
No, I've done. I started doing the label thing after, and I didn't even realize that it was something I naturally. Because you're the one that told me. We're sitting out there, and you're like, I do, and I was like, dude, because like these. What my problem is, I'll rip them off sometimes. But all my white driven shirts like this have that type of label, and I would play with it.
So another thing, also going back to labels, is on the majority of mine, if you ever see me, this is a brand new shirt. I literally just bought this yesterday. That's why, but I don't think it was yesterday. But it's new. You might see a hole here. And the reason why in most of my clothes is there's a hole is I rip the label off or cut it with scissors, and I'll have it in my pocket like this, and I'm playing with it in my pocket like this, and nobody can see and nobody knows. It's just a thing for me, and that's what really helps me. And I've done it since I was at school. I must have done it since, I've been doing it for as long as I can remember, and that's what helped me at school when I couldn't go to the bathroom and things, was just keeping busy with my hands. But the thing for me was the label. It's soft, and it makes me feel calm, and it calms me down. And it's just something to take my mind off. And my arms are moving, and like, it seems kind of embarrassing to talk about, in the sense of, the reason why I've never openly spoken about this before is because in my head with my anxiety, I picture all these people saying now, Charlie, you're a 26-year-old man and you're playing with a label. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's my anxiety talking in my head like, mate, grow up. You know what I mean? Like these negative things in my head, like you're 26 years old. I forgot my age. You're 26 years old and you're playing with a label. Like, but it doesn't matter because that's what helps me. You know what I mean? Like I should not be ashamed. I should not feel scared. I should not feel bad by doing something that helps me with my anxiety, helps me with my mental health. And I want to make that clear.
That's what I think a lot of people really, we fuck up our anxiety even worse because we don't realize that it's a lot of people around and we're like, we should get our shit together because everyone else seems to have it together, but I don't. You know, just like that.
Hello,
I get what you're talking.
Yeah, no, it's like, you know what I mean? Like we should not, as human beings, ever feel ashamed about doing something that helps us with any mental health disorder. You know what I mean? Like me playing with my label. Yeah, I'm 26 years old, but it helps me. So but that's kind of one of the reasons why I've never been so open about it.
No, that makes sense.
Talking about playing with my labels. So yeah, what helps you guys? Anything like I just mentioned about? Have you ever played with labels?
A lot of people are saying it's a sensory thing. A lot of people do pick up on that. Like sensory is one of the best distractions. You got to use it to your advantage.
This someone posted Eric's live on his YouTube channel as well, Driven Industries. Someone mentioned they play with their rings.
Yep. Rings is a huge one.
Yeah.
That's why I love this ring. Though this is the ring of rings, dude.
Yeah. Sensory things and visual things. Fidget with my rings or necklace. Yeah.
Play with a coin between my fingers. Yep.
Hey, guy with the vape. Hey.
Yeah,
Jade said she plays with her rings as well.
A lot of people play with the rings. Hey, Crank.
Hey, sorry, I just want to answer this one question. Yeah. Avery is an idiot 0416. Firstly, you're not an idiot. Okay. So I just want to get that clear. You're not an idiot. So your username is wrong. Okay. How can I ask for help? Now, going back to what I said before is what works for me will not work for you. There's not one specific way to ask for help. There's many different ways you can ask for help. Now, let's say you're scared to talk to your parents about how you're feeling and you're scared to approach them to ask them for help. There's many different ways you can do that if you don't want to talk to them face to face. We don't have a phone. You could text them on your phone if you wanted to. You could call them on the phone if you wanted to. You could email them. You could write a letter. There's many different ways that you could ask for help if you don't want to speak to somebody face to face. There's like Dinksy, I couldn't see that somebody donated something, but thank you so much. Sent Panda, Dinsky, thank you so much. I'll send me a DM, please, and I'll message you. Thank you for donating. I appreciate that. Love you. Going back to what I was saying, there's many different ways you can ask for help. If you don't want to speak to someone face to face, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, right. I mean, I did a letter over text, and the only reason is we're in such a texting email society now that it's not extremely personal. Like parents, sometimes I don't think take text seriously. Yeah. Like even with a spouse, I don't know if you've ever gotten it. Like texting will lead and increase my fucking anxiety because there's no emotion in it or anything like that, and it's usually not super long. It's like it's different when I see it hand wrote out versus. I mean, the worst text you could ever do is get like an okay or a K. Yeah. And your anxiety just goes through the fucking roof. Yeah. And next thing you know, you're going, oh my fucking God, yeah. K what? K what? And it's horrible. You know, that's why I like writing the letter thing. I mean, face to face and talking to him, I think is the best, but it's also the hardest to do.
Yeah, of course. And that's what I mentioned. Like, if you can't do that, then you can write a letter, you can do other things, can't you? It's but like I said, what helps me. Hang on, what you mentioned, you opened up to your counselor and you regret it so much. Do you think it's something to regret? No, it's not something. So the reason why you're going to counseling is to be vulnerable, number one, and it's okay to be vulnerable because that's what you are paying them for, right? To help you. So it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to open up, and I'll explain why. Unless you're those two things, three things, because you need to be honest with them as well. There's no point lying to your counselor or therapist.
Yeah, no.
If you're not those three things, that therapist or counselor cannot help you. So it's a waste of time. You should not, sorry, hang on, let me go. You should not regret opening up to your counselor. That's what they're there for. How you're feeling is personal to you, and how you are personally feeling is valid. Is 100% valid how you're feeling. So please do not regret talking to somebody you or your family has paid to talk to, whose job it is to help you. So please do not regret that. That is an amazing thing. And that's amazing that you were vulnerable, open, and honest to your counselor. So I want to congratulate you on that, because that's an amazing, and you should be proud of yourself, shouldn't you? Because it's difficult to do that, especially to a stranger like a counselor.
Yep.
So I want to give you credit and props for doing that. So well done. Let's see what's...
We have the whole Discord in here, and they're trying to get me to eat bugs.
Eat bugs then?
I'm not eating bugs.
You said you were going to eat bugs?
No, I'm not eating bugs. Not eating the bugs. I taught really well, but not my feelings. But helps. Letters does help. Letters helps a lot. Letters helps a ton.
So I just want to respond to this because I can kind of relate and understand. Sophie_nut. Every time I open up to my family, they swear and bully me when I just need help. Firstly, I'm so sorry that your family is like that. That's terrible. It hurts because your family is supposed to love you, support you, and help you no matter what. That is what family is, isn't it?
Yep.
And when you go to your family or people who are supposed to protect you, help you, and love you, instead of doing that, they hurt you instead. When you're so vulnerable and you've gone to them, it's difficult. It's not something that my family have done to me, but I've been around people when their family has done it to them. And I'm sorry that it's happened to you. And this is why communities like Authentic Mental Health and Driven Industries are so important, because if you cannot talk to your family, right, which is terrible and it shouldn't be that way, you can talk to people in these communities, people online who understand you. And I know it's not exactly the same as you know, having a conversation with your family and being open and honest with your family, because that's really what you want. But if you can't have that, then you have that in communities like ours. You know, look how many people are commenting and talking about how they feel. We all understand each other here. We might not all experience and suffer the same things, but we go through the same things on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
Or we relate because the struggles aren't the same, but in a sense they're similar. You know, I mean, that's the hardest thing, is when family, you know, plays down on how you should feel, or how you, like, the worst is, because what hit me on the grieving one to do the workshop was somebody was like, you know, a year later, you know, I had family and stuff tell me that I shouldn't be grieving this anymore, and grief is different for everybody. And then it came into shit. It's the same like with mental health and stuff like that. I mean, it's different for everybody. And so it's one thing to understand and actually just listen, versus, you know, being that family who puts you down, who degrades you or gets angry. And a lot of times I think parents even will get angry because it's something outside of their control. And so it's almost like they're angry at themselves, and unfortunately they lash out at their kids.
Yeah, it's sad, really.
Uh-huh.
But unfortunately, that's the world we live in. You know, some people understand mental health, other people don't understand it. Some people want to talk about it, other people don't want to talk. You know, it's really difficult, and I'm sorry that.
Scott, talk to your counselor about agoraphobia. That's essentially what it is. Can't leave your house.
Yeah.
1:30.
Any tips for getting away from abusive households? Wow. Yes and no, and I'll explain to you. I've been in abusive households. My situation was slightly different to yours. I'm guessing you are a child and living. No, I don't mean like a child, but you live with your parents. Is that the abusive household? Are you under the age of 18? See what the time. I'm 14. There you go.
Yeah.
So for me, I was 24, 25, living in an abusive household. I had the ability to move because you know I have a job, so I have the income and the money to be able to just say, you know,
yep,
I'm off. I'm not dealing with this anymore. So, but you as 14, it's very difficult. A difficult situation. What I would do is I would try and spend as much time as physically and humanly possible away from that environment, because at 14, that's where you live. And that's unfortunate, you know, and I'm really sorry about that, but there's no way for you at this present moment in time to get away from that. But I want to let you know that the abuse that you're receiving, or what the abuse they're telling you, so let's say they're saying to you, oh, you're useless. Oh, you're nothing. Oh, you're pathetic. Oh, you're never going to be anybody. That's all lies. And I know it's so easy if you're told that every day to start believing it. But you need to suppress what that abuse they're putting onto you is, and believe in yourself and know that you are not what they're telling you you are. And like I said, I would try and get out as much as humanly possible.
And find a safe space even in your house, or create it, even if it's like in your closet, or if there's just an area of the room, to create a safe space.
So something that also can really help, if the abuse isn't always aimed at you, let's say you have like brothers or sisters, or people are arguing and being abusive, you know, in the kitchen. What I would do is I would leave that, go into my bedroom, put some headphones in, listen to my favorite music, get a book, start writing how you feel, draw, do whatever you want, write music, write poems, do whatever you want to do that is creative, and try and block out as much as humanly possible what's going on here.
And if the abuse is physical, I mean, you need to talk to a teacher. You need to get a teacher, a nurse, a doctor. You need to get somebody involved with you, because the hard thing when it comes to the abuse part too is what kind of form of abuse is it? Because it's very hard to prove any kind of mental abuse or anything of that sort. I mean, getting a nurse or a counselor, somebody to get you some extra help is important. But if it's physical abuse, you've got to get with other adults immediately, CPS, police, whoever. That's one of the hard ones, because you never know fully what kind of abuse it is.
Charlie, I have a question. How do I deal with social anxiety? My social anxiety, although everybody knows what social anxiety is, my social anxiety will be different and be triggered by different things than what yours is. So for me, going back to it, when I see or meet new people, no go for me. My social anxiety and generalized anxiety disorders, I'm throwing up, mate. I'm the night before when I know I'm going to, I'm on the sitting by the toilet, heaving, throwing up over the toilet. You know, your social anxiety might be different than that. We've both made a couple of videos on our social anxiety and ways you can deal with it. Not you, but how we personally deal with our social anxieties. Now, something that actually really helped me, and I haven't actually spoken about before, is when I first learned to drive, I had really, really, really bad anxiety because of it. And I'll explain why. It was other people seeing me in my car driving. That's what scared me. It wasn't the actual driving part. It was when, you know, I'm driving past, or we pull up at traffic lights and I have to stop, and I look there and somebody's there. Or I look here and somebody's in their car there. Or they might have people in the back. And I'm like, oh my God, everybody's looking at me. Like, and there's nowhere for me to escape. I'm just sat there at the steering wheel like this, like, oh, like, what am I going to do? Like, just shaking and trembling.
Right.
How I dealt with that, because that's not the case for me anymore, I decided to drive during the hours as practice when I know nobody was on the road. So the first night, what I would do is, let's say about 11 o'clock at night, I would go in the car and I'd drive around. Okay, just kind of getting used to it. There's only a few cars on the road, right? It's not like I'm stuck on the motorway in a big queue and there's nowhere for me to go and I think everybody's looking at me.
Right.
And each night I went a little earlier, not by much, by like a couple of minutes. And I kept doing it. And each night I would see more and more and more and more people. So I was getting myself slowly each night used to seeing more and more and more and more people on the roads. I'm not sure if I'm making much sense, but for me, that's what really helped. And let's say you have social anxiety. Now, the first thing I should have mentioned this before. The worst thing you can ever, ever, ever do is avoid something, because if you avoid it, in the long run, it's a catastrophe. You're never going to do it again. So, like, I know it's difficult to say when my anxiety doesn't want me to go into work and I just want to call in sick and be like, I'm ill.
Right.
If I do that once, if I do that twice, if I do that, I'm just going to continue to do it. And I'm in that cycle then of avoiding how my emotions are making me feel.
Right.
And that's what you cannot, I know it's easier said than done, but you cannot allow avoidance. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot let this thing take over your life, because if you do, it will take over your life.
Right.
And you will not leave your house ever again. And you will be, you know what I mean? So you have to find ways, small ways at a time, by just working on it. So let me go back to what I was saying about, let's say you have social anxiety about going into a store or a shop. Something that helps me, I have to go to Target. Let me use an example in England because they don't know what Target is. Let's say you're going into Asda or Tesco, the supermarket, or if you're listening from America, you're going into Walmart or flipping Whole Foods.
All right.
And you have a severe fear, or your social anxiety won't allow you to do that. This is what I would do. I would go Google, and on Google, when you type in a store, usually it will say times when it's busy and the busiest. Yeah? This is what I do every day, mate. You think I've never spoken about this? So I would look at the time when it says it's usually not busy. Okay. So let's say it's 9 o'clock at night. I would drive there at 9 o'clock at night. I would accept my social anxiety and how I'm feeling. I would accept it. I would get out the car. I would walk. I would go into the store. And if that's all I could do and my anxiety levels were so high and I'm sweating and I'm starting to feel a panic attack, I would leave. But for the next day, I got here. So I got to the front door. The next day in my head, right, I'm going to the first aisle, right? I'm going to the first aisle, right? The next day, go at 9 o'clock, same time, it's quiet. Go to the first. If that's all I can do, that's okay. That's okay. Give yourself a pat on the back because the first aisle is better than what you've ever done before, and build it up slowly, which is what I mentioned about what I was doing with my car anxiety. Each day you build it slowly, but you cannot let. I know it's so difficult and it sounds harsh and mean to say, but you cannot let these things take over your life because they will. You know what I mean?
There's a part of it that you have to fight through.
And that's what you always told me on the phone. Like when I was saying to you, like, I can't go to work, man. I can't do it. I can't. I'm coming back.
If they fire me, it doesn't matter. I don't care. They can fire me. I don't want to be here. Yeah.
And you were like, Charlie, you can do it, man. Like, because sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes all we need is one person to say and believe in us and say, you can do it. You can do that thing that your anxiety is stopping you from doing. And once you do it, right, this is usually what I find. So I know I've got to go to, let's say, a presentation, a live presentation, right? My wife's bought tickets. Okay, that's a bad example. Let's say my wife bought tickets to go and see Arctic Monkeys at a gig, okay? And I'm like, when is it? She's like, oh, it's 2 weeks from now. And I'm like, slowly each night that goes by and it gets closer and closer, my anxiety is like, oh my God, I can't do this. There's going to be 50,000 people there. Oh my God, I cannot do this. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, I'm not sleeping. Like, I'm staying awake at night and I'm like a flipping, like, cannot sleep. I'm just like, I can't do this. I'm throwing up over the toilet. What I found is once I actually do it, so let's say I go to the gig, I go to the concert, I'm there for 5 minutes. And then I'm like, there's like a realization hits you in your mind. And it's almost like you've forgotten about your anxiety and how you were feeling. And you're like, hang on a second. I was worrying for the past 2 weeks, right? That over nothing. What I was worrying about hasn't happened. And I'm actually enjoying myself, you know. It's just that short period of time where your anxiety takes over your body and then it takes over your mind.
Well, you know, it's one of the funny things that I've shared with people, like, because my social anxiety gets around just like how yours does. Like when it comes to that, like you know, go to a party or something, and I freak out. It doesn't matter if there's 10 people there or whatever. What actually helps me is, say the party is at 8 o'clock. I have an agreement of, okay, we're leaving at 9. So I have control. So I know when the end is. And the funniest thing is when I've done that and I know when the end is coming and I feel like I have some control. It's so much easier, but I end up having fun and we stay a lot longer than 9 because all of a sudden it's like I didn't need that security blanket anymore and I could enjoy myself because I felt like I had a little bit of control over it.
And also it makes you feel good because let's say you look at the clock and it's 10 past 9. You're like, you feel amazing about yourself. You're like, holy, like I did this. You know what I mean? I'm a bad boy. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like this is sick. You know what I mean? And it just makes you feel good within yourself, doesn't it? Like it's like setting targets and you surpass those targets and you're like, wow, I can actually do this. Next time it's 10 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you actually enjoyed yourself.
And then eventually you don't need a time frame because you're like, Bad boy alert. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said bad boy. I got a bit excited there.
I know you did.
I don't know why. I was like, yeah, bad boy. I don't know why I said that. Sorry.
Get out the Yeezys.
Any tips for sensory overloads?
Sensory overloads is a hard one for me, just because I don't get enough sensory. Do you know what I mean? Mine's more of a numbness.
Mm-hmm.
On the sensory overload, a lot of it is finding a safe place to release a lot of those senses, because the sensory overload is sense of sound, sense of touch, sense of smell, all of that stuff. Mine is going to a comfort place like my truck, and literally, if I'm having too much overload of anything, I'll sit in my truck in the driveway with it on, and I'll actually hang out in there for like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and it backs everything off because it's controlled senses around me.
Sorry, I just really want to, this really annoys me, and I'm going to reply to this comment. Bullying is making me feel pointless. I don't deserve to be in this world. I don't know how to handle this comment without swearing and losing my shit. And I know I just swore there, but and I apologize about that. Normally I don't swear. The worst thing in the world for me is bullies. Another person physically hurting another person or mentally hurting another person to make them feel good. Firstly, I'm so sorry that you are being bullied. You don't deserve that. Nobody else deserves to be bullied. And it's a terrible thing. Now, I'm guessing the bullying is happening at school. I'm guessing you're still at school. Is that correct? Sorry, I'm just waiting for the person who said that. While I'm waiting, I don't deserve to be in this world. I'm replying to Broccoli Channel's last bit. You do deserve to be in this world. Every single person who's in this live stream deserves to be in this world. So don't ever think for 1 second that you don't deserve to be in this world, because you do. But saying that, it is okay to think and feel that way, because I feel that way on a daily basis. But know that it's not true, and know that it's your depression or whatever you're going through in here is tricking your mind into believing that every single person here deserves to be in this world, and every single person here is an amazing human being who deserves love, happiness, and kindness given to them. Let's see if the person replied. Yeah, defo at school. You know, it's a difficult topic for me to say, because again, bullying is difficult for everyone. Sometimes if the person who's being bullied goes to the teacher and talks to them, they're actually bullied even more. You know what I mean? It's so it's a different situation for everybody. If you feel like you need to talk to somebody about it, is number one. 100% you need to talk to somebody about it, because it cannot go on. It cannot go on, the bullying, because it's terrible. It should not happen, and the person who is the bully deserves. Well, I'm not going to talk about what they deserve, but whatever. What would you say? I mean, it's difficult because I don't know the exact situation.
I think the easiest thing is when you're dealing with a bully is, one, you can't be isolated with a bully.
You need to talk.
You can't. The big thing is talk, have support around you, but also because you can brain fuck bullies. Because bullies are typically people that are very insecure, and you can actually play into their weaknesses of the fact of, if you respond to a bully in a monotone and you don't get emotional over it, and it might hurt, and you might be crying like a motherfucker inside. But if you do not emotionally react, you will exhaust a bully. If it is any kind of physical touching or anything of that sort, or hitting, make sure that you have it recorded, because the bully's always going to lie. Well, if you have a video recorded of you getting hit by this person, they can't lie about, well, that wasn't me and that video hitting you. You got to let everybody know that you can. Don't be afraid to get the police involved. If you have to get the police involved, let your parents know. Let everybody know that you can, because one of the worst things is schools have these zero tolerance for bullying, but there's no handbook or guidebook or rule book or anything of how do they actually handle a bully. It's just mainly to satisfy everybody and say, oh, we're a zero tolerance bully. That's the unfortunate thing, is it's not the reality of it.
So another thing that I want to touch on, hello to everybody who's saying hello. Another thing I want to touch on about the bullies themselves. There's a reason why they are bullies, and there's a reason why they are bullying. Now, if you look at a bully, the reason why they are bullies is because they get a thrill, they get some sort of positive emotion out of seeing somebody hurt or affected, and that's what they thrive off. And going back to what Eric says, if they don't get that thrill from you by you just being like, not even responding to them. So say they're like throwing stones at you from across the playground, or like hurling insults from across the playground, and you just carry on walking. You don't even look back. Eventually, usually, a bully will get bored because they're not getting a thrill or a satisfaction out of you.
Right.
So it's a difficult one, because when you're in that situation, obviously it's affecting you, and everybody shows some sort of emotion. You know what I mean? It's a difficult one to talk about, because again, bullying is different and unique to each individual person who gets bullied.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
It's almost 2. Let's cut this off because I don't want you to.
All right. Okay. For those of you that don't know and are late here to this live stream, me, Eric, and Maddie are holding.
Awesome. I'm dropping the link.
A grief, loss, and trauma workshop. There's very few spaces remaining. They're all going to be sold out probably in the next 30 minutes. So if you go into my description on my TikTok, there'll be a link. Click on that link and go to mental health workshops to reserve your spot and space. Very few spaces remaining. And yeah, please, if it's something that you need help with, I'd hate for you to miss your spot, basically. It's me.
Well, it's the first time that you and I've ever, and Maddie, I don't know of any three.
The links in our
three bio, of the largest mental health advocates. I mean, you're the largest mental health advocate essentially on YouTube. I mean, you have what, 140,000, 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah. He's very shy and stuff about that. But yes, he has a way larger channel. You know, I got 1.3 million on TikTok. I mean, when you count in what our follower base is of who we reach is well over 2 million people. You know, and you get us all together to be able to actually share with you experiences, you know, working together to fight through it. So, you know, if you click here in this chat, I've dropped the link a ton. If you do want to gift any of the tickets, I did even put a thing. Send an email to the email on there if you're going to do tickets that are a gift. So again, it is limited tickets. There are a few still available, so make sure that you don't miss out on that, because it's going to be pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to leave that there for today. We've enjoyed having a conversation with you all.
Love you guys.
Too. Hopefully these lives have, you know, helped you feel less alone, helped you feel less crazy, helped you feel like there is hope, because that's all that we want.
That's what
to
it's
do
all
at the
about.
end of the day, and we want to reduce the stigma attached to mental health disorders, and we want to make people realize that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be struggling. It's okay to be suffering. It's okay. There's no shame in that.
Exactly.
You know, there's no shame in that. And hopefully, you know, being on here now an hour and 15 minutes has helped you realize that. And yeah, that's all we want to do. And we love you all. And thank you for taking the time, you know, your personal time to listen to what I have to say, listen to what Eric has to say. We really appreciate that, and don't think that we don't, because we do. So yeah, we're going to leave it there. I'm not sure if our TikToks have uploaded. Are they still on 0?
I don't know. Let me see. I know that they've started to.
So for those of you that are new on this live stream,
Nope, they're
TikTok.
up now.
They're up?
They're up now. All of them.
Okay.
They don't have a massive. There's not a very good view count or anything.
It's because of the time, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna love you all. Take care, and I'll probably start doing like daily live streams. I'm gonna start doing a night support live stream. So yeah. Take care, guys and girls.
Love you guys.
And I'll see you all again in another live stream.
Exactly. Bye.